Hey guys, it's Sam, and I'm here to give you some tips today. We just did a door knocking blitz on Saturday, and as we were walking, I was listening to what Sal says. Sal often says, hey, have you ever seen those shows on TV? We're like them, but we're different. He's usually got, $10,000 in his hand and grabs people's attention. I've heard him say, hey, have you ever heard of Publishers Clearinghouse? Yeah, well, we're not them. He's used have you ever heard of Fortune Weavers Clearinghouse? He uses different things like that. When Sal first started out, one of the easiest things he did is he would knock on doors and say something like this. Knock, knock. He didn't even know their name. He didn't have Property Radar at the time. He'd say, hey, I was just wondering if you've ever thought about selling your house. I'm not here to sell anything, but I was just wondering if you've ever thought about it. And if they kind of twisted, he would say, you have thought about it, right? It's a seller's market, makes a lot of sense. And that's how he used that to actually get his first deal very quickly. But not all of us are as talented as Sal door knocking. We don't have that charisma. We're just the average person sometimes when we're out there facing rejection, which, Saturday we knocked on a lot of doors. We didn't really have a lot of rejection. People just say they're not interested, but there's not a ton of rejection. But one of the things you can do that makes you different is remember, we're not knocking as realtors. We're not knocking as investors. We're consultants. And it's always great to talk about another story of where you're helping. So what I would suggest you do is know some of the stories on how we're helping people, but do this. Make sure you have Property Radar. It's real important to know the name of the person behind the door. So if they are the owner, you want to know what that is. So let's say it's Mr. and Mrs. Johnson, for lack of a better name. And so you knock on the door and you say, hey, Mr. Johnson, are you home? Well, Mr. Johnson answers the door. He goes, yes. His self-defense mechanisms are really high. And you say, hey, Mr. Johnson, my name's Sam with Fortune Weavers, and I was just wondering if you needed my help. And there's a pause. And he's going to say, help with what? And you go, well, we just helped Joe and Joanna with their situation. They were actually in foreclosure, and our company does what we call real estate ministry. And we were able to get them out of that situation, front them money. They actually wanted to sell their property, so that's what we helped them with. But look, I was driving by, I noticed the house needs a little work, and we have the financial resources to help you either with renovations or to put you in front of people that aren't going to shark you in the contracting phase of your house. So you can use some of those things. Obviously, you can be a little smoother than that, but give a couple of things that we do. If they don't have a living trust, what we've done is we've went out there and we found the best trust attorneys at the right price, and we refer them to you so that you can get a living trust so your family doesn't have to deal with the probate when you pass. And so little things like that, you can say, and it just gets you in the door. The key is that you want them to ask you, right, what are you going to help me with? And that gives you an opportunity to at least talk about what you do instead of running out the mouth and vomiting all over people by saying blah, 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 and this is what we do. And Saturday, I caught myself doing that a couple times. And I'm like, there's got to be a better way. And I don't know if you saw the video that we did where Roy knocked on the door. He did a great job. It was his first time. And he says, I was just wondering if you needed our help. And the guy is like, well, with what? And anyway, he says he's a tenant. So he probably wasn't being very honest because he answered to the guy's name of the house. But it doesn't matter. You do that enough times in a week, you're going to get a lot of business. So I would encourage you, try that technique. You can try. Have you ever seen those shows on TV where they're flipping houses? Well, that's not who we are. We are like them, but we're different. And then it gives us the opportunity to talk about what we do for people, right? So the key is you want to have a unique selling proposition. And you can say you're not selling something, but you kind of are. You're going to make money off of helping somebody or getting, having them sell their houses and something like that. But if you knock on enough doors, right, then you're going to get the business, and it's going to change your life forever. And that's how you leave your legacy behind, is getting out of your comfort zone. And be bold enough to say something like that. Hey, I was just wondering if you needed my help. And then they're going to say, help with what? Help with maybe fixing up your house. We tend to get the work done at 50 cents on the dollar, somewhere around there. And so we make sure we control it so you don't get taken advantage of. We're kind of like an advocacy group. We do real estate ministry. And see where it takes you. All right, this is Sam with Fortune Weavers. Hey guys, we'll see you on the flip side.